My name is Lila Mushin. I'm from Faculty of Political Sciences, Sarajevo, and today I'm presenting a team gender, race, and class. Race and ethnicity represent the constructs that are political and used in order to make distinctions in between the human and ethnic groups. There is difference in between the race and ethnicity. Race represents genetically transmitted characteristics popularly associated with different human groups such as skin color, facial features, hair texture, and body type. Gender dimensions of racial and national emotions. This paper analyzes gender dimension of racial and national emotions. Empirical part of the paper focuses onto the analysis of racial emotions towards the gender dimension of race in the group of students. Gender dimension of these emotions involve the marginalization and discrimination against women, giving the notion into real position of the woman in society as group and their vulnerability to racial and ethnic violence. The main hypothesis is that the fight against racial and gender discrimination can unite all persons regardless of gender or color of their skin. Post-colonial and multicultural feminism unite all the women and feminists in order to stop discrimination on the basis of the race, class, ethnicity, and gender. Nair Yuval Davis and the degradation of women. Women are the simplest synonym for bionational reproduction of the nation. They represent important segments of the renewal of the nation and the national spirit. And in war condition, they are the place of the greatest discrimination. Subordinating and discriminating women, men perpetuate, destroy, and degrade men as opponents, especially making his nation impurity with its greater degradation of moral and cultural dignity. Famous black feminist Bell Hooks, in her book Bomb Black Memories of Girlhood, describes her feelings of her own race. Loneliness brings me to the edge of what I know. My soul is dark like the inner world of the cave Bomb Black. I have been drowning in the blackness. Like quicksand, it sucks me in and keeps me there in the space of all my pain. I never say out loud that I could die in this space of loneliness, of outer-siderness. I never say out loud I want to kill myself to go away from all of this. I never tell anyone how much I want to belong. The priest I met saw me standing on the edge of the cliff, about to jump off and pull me back. It was not a real cliff, just one inside myself. Before anyone goes to that real place where we leap to our death, the dying has to be imagined. And so he finds me there in that bomb black place within myself where I'm dreaming my escape. The emotion towards her own race described by Bell Hooks. I tell myself stories, write poems, record my dreams in my journal. I write, I belong in this place of words. This is my home, this dark, bone black inner cave where I'm making a world for myself. Thompson Armato stated Patricia Hill Collins, the author of Black Feminist Thought, Knowledge, Consciousness and Politics of the Empowerment, writes about African American women that they were historically presenting controlling images in narrow range of roles in films rooted in sexist, racist and class narratives. In Gender and Nation, Nair Yuval Davis emphasizes the dual nature of nature. On the one hand, identity and de-affiliation of man and woman to the collectivity is the same, and on the other hand, the rules that are specific exclusively apply to women, which is discriminatory and needs to be changed legally. Bell Hooks, when retelling her personal feelings of being black, writes on relations in between black and whites in the school. Some of us are chosen. We are allowed to sit in the classes with white students. We are told that we are smart. We are good servants who will be looked to. All black and white attend the same school. Black sits with blacks, white sits with whites. In the cafeteria there is no racial mixing. When hands reach out to touch across these boundaries, whites protest, black protest as well. School is a place where we came face to face with racism. Left liberal Black Women's Club were important in organization of women's suffrage, and after the 1890s, this club from different cities formed National Association of Colored Women with over 100 local women's clubs. Hundreds of thousands of black migrated from rural south to the more developed north. Ida Wells Barnett is a famous sociologist called Jane Addams among the Negroes, helped migrants and formed settlement house for them. In this picture we can see how did she look like, and we can compare her with Jane Addams and Jane Addams classes that were held in Hull House Black for Migrants. Empirical investigation on team race and racial emotions. This survey is conducted among the MA students of Faculty of Political Sciences, Sarajevo. In regards to gender, 66% of the students were males and 34% were the females. The age of the student is from 20 to 23. Since they are mainly first year or MA studies, more than half of the students are 20 to 22 years old. Inside the sample, students were mostly whites, with only one black student, and when they did not want to give an answer to that question, probably it was of Roma people origin. Racial differences, emotions. When thinking of racial differences, what kind of emotions do you feel? 52 students feel extreme positive emotions when they think on racial differences. Around 10% is extremely negative, and 38 of students remained undetermined or did not want to give response to these questions. Would you rather hang out with people of the same skin color than those of other skin color? 71% of the students stated they didn't want to rather hang out with people of the same skin color, and 15% would not like to hang out with people of other skin color. Is there a race that you find less valuable than your own? The whole sample and whole group of the examinees had responded they do not think of any race less important than their own. If you think there is some race or more races that are superior to you, please circle. More than 52 of these students, since they were mainly whites, responded their race is superior. 38 left no response to the question. 10 of them believe that white race is superior. Is racial discrimination justified? 95 of the examinees had responded that racial discrimination is not justified. Around 5% of the students left no response to the question. There was no answer yes to this question. Have you developed white feelings in your area, or do you prefer white race? Around 71 of the students had responded that they do not prefer the white race and that they did not develop the white feelings. 19% stated that they prefer white race and have white feelings, and 10% of the students had not responded to that question. Do you feel the fear of staying in the black, Chinese, Mexican neighborhoods of the big cities? 19% of the students had responded they did not feel a fear from staying in the black, Chinese, Mexican neighborhoods of the big cities, while 10% do feel fear. Do people of other skin color have the right to racial pride, happiness, empathy, comfort, solidarity, and satisfaction? 76 think yes. 5% think that they didn't respond, and 19% think that they do not have the right to that. Do you think the position of black women, Chinese, Latino, Indian is more difficult than the situation of white women in the world today? 66 of the examinees thinks that it is, and 30% of them don't think so. Do you think the situation of some white women is more difficult than the position of Negro, Indians, Latino, and Chinese? 76 of the examinees thinks that it is, and 24% thinks that it is. Can gender-based discrimination affect all women internationally, regardless of skin color, in a group of the fights for the equality of women? 80% of the examinees agree, and 20% do not agree. Can the fight against racial discrimination associate all persons regardless of gender or color of their skin? 80% of the examinees believe so. The main hypothesis of this paper, that the fight against racial and gender discrimination can unite all persons regardless of the gender or color of their skin, proved to be right practically the survey result. The fight against racial discrimination can associate all persons regardless of gender or color of their skin, thinks 80% of the examinees. Multicultural feminism and its representatives such as Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, Neera Yoel Davis, and Uma Narayan, an idea of transversal politics of identity, promotes supranational identity over the old concept of nation states. Therefore, the ecological literacy, ecoethics, bioethics, social reflexivity can be the agents of changes in future. Thank you.